right, guys. So it's time for Talk the Ting with Kim. And another topic that you guys are awaiting to hear the details of is things to consider before getting married or engaged. So, guys, as I tell y'all every week, I would love a discussion. I'd love interaction. I want to know and think if we not agree, if we not disagree. And also if you've never considered doing those things. Because a few of them that I came across, I was like, I've never even had that conversation or thought about having that conversation. So this makes sense, you know? So we're going to get into it. One of the most significant turning points in anyone's life is marriage. And they say marriage is a covenant, and keeping that covenant requires two committed people. And you hear that? Committed
mash up for them already.
people, right? Make us say, I need to hear this. Yeah. It is a unique period in one's life when making the commitment to love and appreciate someone through good and bad times is very important. So not only when things good and great and happy and dandy, right? Is the good and the bad time. Because not fun to tend to forget the sickness and the bad times part of it, you know? And only I sign up for the fun.
I think last time we were talking to Jada, I think Jada said in richness and in wealth.
Exactly. she not sign up for the poorness part, right? But it's the reality. So, when you decide to get married and think you have found the one you want to spend the rest of your life with, the decision to get married should not be difficult. So, not something you need for maths up and science up and all them something there, right? It's almost natural, you know. There's something that you're looking for. You should know it, and you should know if this person is the best fit for that, right? And yeah, well, no, they might not check all the boxes, but are they somebody you can work with? That is for you to decide, and it shouldn't be an overly difficult decision, all right? Julie said, woman only marriage sweet these days.
What that mean?
I think they only want sweet marriages, I'm guessing. I think.
Nothing too hard.
Yeah, we don't know the stress. We're not signing up for that part there. No. Right? So deciding to get married should not be difficult. You know, you must just sort of say, yeah, the person is right for me. However, when you look at marriages with an approach of practicality and rationality, you may realize that sharing your life with someone else can mean a lot of changes that need to be discussed before you decide to make your union official and legal. So, some of these topics might feel a bit tricky to go over, but it's so important to start married life in a place of honesty and trust. So make some time to sit down and discuss these things before you get married. So before I go into listing the stuff, Mecca said better mats up the marriage because divorce not cheap.
Oh.
Right? And then Quilly said, there we go already with the finger pointing and gender blaming. And Quilly, I love that you point that out because this conversation is not about that. Right? It's, as I tell you, every single week when I have relationship topics, if we do have that as the main topic, it's really about trying to get rid of that division between man and woman. The whole bias, man versus woman. The whole man a wicked or man a dog, woman a wicked. We're trying to erase that. We're trying to understand each other more. We're trying to fix relationships because nowadays people don't believe relationships make sense. People don't think so.
Very different these days.
And we're trying to change that thought process. So I love how you point that out. We're not about pointing fingers. We're not about gender blaming. We're about listen. Make we figure it out. Make women try to understand, you know, more about relationships, and men also understand more about it. So that's the aim right now.
Yeah.
So before getting married, before getting engaged even, one of the things you may want to discuss is what are your finances really like?
Really?
That one that mash up enough people head.
First thing first.
How people don't even like talk about money.
All right, because there was this photo on IG, like a room with like a little mattress on the floor, and then the question was asked, you know, man, you know, would you get married? Ladies, would you marry a man? You know, and this is his current setup.
Yeah.
And I'm saying, really and truly, that man they should not ask to marry no woman right now. He should have worked on him finances.
Work for himself.
So sometimes I think this marriage thing, everybody just take it up and I really consider, am I financially able?
Am I in a position to even
take on a marriage?
Yeah, get married right
cheap.
now.
And I think saying this, I basically living in the same house and that. No, marriage takes money.
Well, as Mecca say, well, first of all, them say bank statement.
Wow.
Julie said bank statement, right? I have to see that.
And
then Mecca said finances.
Signed by a JP.
You might go make up one
And two
or
reference.
borrow one.
And two reference.
Mecca Jamaica say finances, this will mash up enough marriages. And Too Cute say unemployed man must not date, much less married.
See it there?
All right.
So, like, you got 4 little expenses. I don't know.
This is a discussion to have, right? Mainly because a lot of marriages, if it is that you check the statistics, a lot of the marriages that basically were successful up until the point of getting married failed thereafter because of finances.
Yeah.
Finances is one of the most taboo topics, one of the most feared topics to talk about. Most people actually keep their financial lives separate.
Exactly.
If them have issues, if them have problem, them don't really want to share it. And we're not talking about the ladies who want to know what the man earn, how much man give a month time and that. That's not the finances who want you to talk
That's
about.
as well, though, but...
Right? Well, yeah, because if she's a girl that needs that, or if it's a girl who say, listen, me work my thing, you work your thing,
Right.
make we just come together. So that's a discussion to have. That's fair, right? But talking about money is never easy. But it's so important to discuss your finances frankly before you get married. So it's not a pretty it up and the actual money that you own is probably 200,000. And you say, boy, about 50,000.
I'm 19-ish.
Right? So,
19 what?
exactly. So, guys, even though I said finances, not about finances must be discussed first. So just listing some, because I see where Quilly says it's health first for me. So it's not about first.
No, this is not about
Right?
first, yeah.
It's just that we're listing
It's
some
about
stuff.
things to do before.
So whichever order you want to
Yeah.
discuss it, you do that. But this is something that you need to discuss,
Yeah.
right?
And also, this is before proposing as well, guys.
Yeah, before, not even wait to the marriage
Yeah.
or the wedding.
Because
We're
that's
not
what I was
plan
about
wedding.
to say. This is not somebody you meet on a first date.
Right.
You're going to
Yeah.
ask them, oh, what are
How
your
much you earn,
finances?
right.
like?
Exactly. You're in a
You're
relationship.
in a established relationship with this individual.
I want to talk situationship.
No, relationship.
All right.
Exactly.
Right? Not you, me, Jen, Joan. No.
Make us say when the joint account empty, stress get full.
Which is facts.
And then Jilly was listing some stuff saying that boy, it's health first for me, and likewise for woman as well can unemployed on a date. Quilly said I can't marry a smoker. Trinidad to join, and then 2Q said no, Jilly, man is Trinidad.
It's
Oh,
That's
Trinidad
Miss Jen.
Joy.
Trinidad Joy. Trinidad. All right, big up myself.
Hey, came to
And
Africa a while ago.
2 cute, Trinidad. And then 2 cute said no, Jilly. Man is the head, and so he's the main provider.
Watch
Notice
out.
I never said only provider, but he's the main provider. And Jilly said your body count as well.
What?
Quilly
Really?
said body count. Da da dee.
Before marriage?
Right?
You talked.
What? I'm confused.
All right.
Right, so let's
Kim.
not stray too much from
All right.
the topic. However, a couple of them.
Here's the trick with finances, though, Kim. 'Cause You see, the thing is, like, somehow, it really comes down to what do you guys value this thing called marriage? Because the side effect with all this, Kim, we're going to talk about finances, but are we going to be honest? Because I know say some of the ladies, them, and some of the men, them, have hidden investment, hidden bank account.
Yeah.
So even though there's a joint account, they might have them personal. You get what I say? So
Yeah.
it's very tricky. It's all
Exactly.
about honesty and transparency.
Well, that's one of the things. So you need to be honest about any debt, any money you know owe, whether
Who is
credit
after
cards,
you?
credit cards, and potential overdrafts before tying the knot, right? This is one to discuss as soon as you get engaged. I think before you get engaged.
Yeah.
To make sure you're not overspending on a wedding as well. So you need to actually, before even getting engaged, if you're having a discussion about, because some people like the discussion, some say, boy, it just surprised me, right? I don't know. That's actually a conversation. There's a whole debate about whether you should talk about getting engaged or if you want the fairy tale of just a surprise
Because
engagement.
if she says no.
There's a whole discussion.
Yeah.
So that's
Yeah,
a discussion.
All right, hold on
Right,
then.
so-
All right, it's really and truly in them situation that I think that you have to kind of test out the person vibe. Say that give them a little scenario. But suppose me propose to you right now.
Uh-huh.
You get me I say?
Yes.
Or, even just jump the gun to say, are you looking forward for marriage out of this relationship?
Yeah.
You have to ask them kind of question, if you kind of prips what go on. Because if you say to her, so suppose me propose to you right now, and she say, you must be mad, you kind of have to double check where you're going with this. So.
Exactly.
You joke. LOLY.
Right? So, well, Mecca was answering the body count statement, said body count should have started out before relationship start.
No, that doesn't make
Right?
sense. You can't be telling everybody body count. I don't even know body count right now because I haven't been counting.
You should walk around with a sign.
I know it's probably less than one.
You
But
should,
I'm-
right. You should walk around
It's
with
probably-
a sign. Even in public place, you go up on the bus, just walk around. So we're not for
It's pretty close to one. But what I'm saying
Right?
is, like, are
Pretty
we
close to one?
Yeah, it's close to one. But are we
That's a
counting?
conversation for another time,
Yeah.
right? Let's not stray too far from this, but
Yeah.
I'll jot that down. So, for the finances, this is one to discuss as soon as you get engaged. If you get to that point, talk about money, right? To make sure you're not overspending on the wedding, and then also you're very clear. As Mecca said, declare all your debts, please. We don't want a surprise. We don't want one day when we're married and in the same house, courts come find a new address. Our credit card company, or we forgot to buy a house or something, and then we hear at that moment your credit is
Yep.
not good because
Or
you have
one
all
morning
these
you go
things.
there and you realize I carried the power record because
Then come back for the car,
Yeah.
right? So those are things you don't really want to
Right.
surprise your spouse with. So it's a conversation to be had, and I think most people fear that because they're like, oh, what if they found all these things and they're gonna left me? If that's the case, then yes, so that's reality. You can't force somebody to take on your
be with
problems, and
you,
that's what
right.
marriages are. Basically, taking on each other's problem. Not only
Two
problems,
become one.
but two become one. So if there's debts to be cleared, it's no or debt and not
You have to
necessarily
help them
your
out.
debt.
You can't
Or-
say dog name your super cause I told you.
Exactly.
Or
If you marry,
never
remember,
took
two
a-
becomes one.
Jaden already Kim, she not ready.
Two becomes one, right?
I
Remember,
said,
she not ready for a serious relationship yet, you know. So
I said in richness, and then, well,
We're not going to that, right? So number
Well,
two,
Do
a
you have either?
discussion
I have richness.
you're just
in the spirit. Hold on, Jilly said, yes, remember we're moving towards marriage, so I need to know how much spirits I have to cast out. That's why Jilly wants to know about the body count because she's not fighting no spirits, right?
Pardon me.
But before we get into that, number two,
write that over that topic for itself.
what's a body count?
Yeah.
All right, I'm going to jot down body count. That's a whole discussion.
Yeah.
So number two, another topic to discuss. Do you want children? And if so, how will we raise them? Now, this is a very important conversation because I've actually seen this firsthand. I have a brethren, he got married. Before the wedding and everything, he did express, listen, I can't wait to have kids. I really want kids, really want kids. Like, it's something he says a lot. Long story short, after the wedding, he was trying everything, and
Did not
his
work.
wife was trying the opposite of everything. He went as far as hiding her birth control pills. Right? That's how much he wanted a child.
I mean, to the fact that you're gonna have to hide it from her still, that kind of shady.
Right?
Just
But
to
he
stay
just,
up until
what-
I say,
for
oh,
whatever reason,
I found these pills, and apparently they're working against what I'm working for. You know what I said? So
and
away
then,
the plan, you know?
and then 2 years into the marriage, they got divorced because she didn't want kids.
Yes.
And that's something that should have been said. You don't spend 2 years with somebody. You combine, I also think, I'm sure in 2 years they
That's
were
it,
combining their
Of
lives. So they probably find a house together. I don't know if y'all bought a house, I don't know.
Right.
Probably car, whatever. And then 2 years in, you're
Cool
not
on
going to
it.
tell me that,
Yeah.
boy, I'm
that's
not
a
really think
division
want to
of
get a child that you've been so openly talking about
Yeah.
wanting. That's really unfair. And then they had to go through a whole divorce. And long story short, he was with a girlfriend next and him have a child now, not married. And I don't know if that's his aim or not, but at this point, what he really wanted was a child, and him loved the child gone to bed, So this is a discussion that needs to be had. Do you want children? Not because you want a wedding
Yeah.
and the marriage, you're going to say yes. And then when the marriage happen after, when them ready know 5 kids, boy.
And then Kimmie, another level, because we always do the cover conversations. Oh, you want kids? Sure, of course.
Yeah, because we want something
And then
cute
here
and
no
nice.
Kim, when?
That is
have
another
to
thing.
Put a when to it
A
because
when.
may I tell you
So the
some
timeline
people,
can be so different.
some people will tell you they're not ready till they're not ready till them not ready
Uh-huh.
till as the man say this operation will continue until
Yeah.
the Lord come for the planet.
Actually, I was watching a show the other day, and they asked
Yeah,
that
that's-
question because the guy actually didn't want kids, and he ended up breaking up with somebody who desperately wanted kids right now, and he ended up dating a younger girl, and they asked, so since this man don't want kids, do you want kids? And she's like, yeah, but not right now, like in her late 40s.
Yeah.
At least she was very open.
Exactly. You have to
And
be
she was in her
honest.
early 20s. She's like, I don't think I want to start having kids till late 40s. And guess what? Can't judge her for that. She knows what she wants, and that's what she wants.
Late
Can
40s.
you,
No, don't worry about it.
regardless,
Don't do
that's
that
what
much. Don't do
she,
that much. Yeah.
no, but I'm saying regardless of that,
Yeah.
that's what she wants. Can you work with that?
Yeah.
Because she's early 20s. That means you wait at least probably 15
Exactly.
years, 10 to 15 years.
straightforward
Can you wait for that?
and talk about
Right?
it.
That's what she wants, and that's what she says fit. And you do have women in their 40s, late 40s, having kids. And that's reality.
You see, in the couple thing, basically people try and cut down as many assumptions as you
Yes,
do.
get some facts.
Talk to the person and get as specific as possible. Because it's a person where you plan to live with, it don't get no more specific
For the
than
rest
that.
of your
Right?
life.
Exactly.
So, you want to have kids? Yeah. When?
When you
Right?
plan.
How many?
The next question was that how would you raise them? I think I was having this
Yeah.
discussion with one of my friends that night back.
I know that have to do with schools, religion.
Right, and they're like, would you marry somebody outside of your religion? And if you were to have kids with them, who would be more
Yeah, who's
assertive?
Well, I
Really
don't
follow.
want y'all to get into that yet because that one is coming, right?
That has a topic for itself.
No, as in that's one of the
basically.
points
Okay.
here. So for the do you want children, and if so, how will we raise them? This is a question you should never ask a couple, but you do need to ask each other. Can you enough people when people just get married? When you
When
have
having
breed, when you have a picnic, is that gonna watch
for
them womb? No,
No,
don't do
be a
that.
womb watcher.
Tune in next week on Womb Watcher.
Right? But no, in a relationship, you need to ask each other. If you're on different pages about this, it can lead to heartbreak if one of you hopes the other will change their mind.
I tell you.
You might not agree on the number of children you want, but if you both know that you want kids, you can always revisit this after you've had one.
Right.
You might suddenly want 5, or you might just want to stick to 1. Right? So when it comes to raising kids now, how to raise them is a big question. Does your partner believe in being strict with children, or do they have quite relaxed views? Like
How were you
the
raised?
parents who want to be friends, it might be that.
changes you'll make?
What about schooling? What about screen time? Or even something as simple as sugar? Because some parents are very strict on,
Yes.
I don't want my child having
Only sugar,
sweets
but it's all about the gluten-free
and
life
the gluten, right?
and all of that stuff.
All these questions
Vegetarian.
need to be explored as having a baby has a huge impact on relationships. And you don't want to wait until that first temper tantrum to have a discussion about how to deal with
That's why I'm
it.
going to own up now yet.
It's a good idea to talk about what you felt was good and bad in your own childhood, as this will have an effect on how you want to parent.
Exactly.
So this is actually a question. So not only if you want kids, probably you can work out together how much kids, because them say you probably have one and then all of a sudden
You know,
want 50.
It starts with one.
Or sometimes
So
you have
start with
one,
one.
I did want 6, and you say, boy, 1 is enough. You know,
Yeah,
you want
start-
6, no more, you know.
Start with one. No matter how big the
Starts
number is,
with
people, it
one.
starts with one. 'Cause
And
some
you
of them
take
want-
it from
oh,
there.
want 6 kids. Some of them
Yeah.
never reach 6. Some of them reach
And it's mostly
never
men that
reach
say
2.
that, though.
But you're going to start, what?
Yes, it's mostly men that
Trust
want
me.
the 3 and the 4.
You think
and
because
the 5
women
and
are
the
conscious
6.
of the pain and so on that they'll go through. I hear a woman say they want enough picnic too.
Them
Yeah.
can do it.
So it's just at the end of the day that it begins with one. And then you, based on how you experience that one, you say maybe we go for another.
Well, Quilly asked a question. Quilly said, how many children is too much to not want to marry a person? That's our next topic.
I believe 8.
No,
Six.
Another topic, right?
If you have one,
All right, like Jada, ready for the question? Like I've had this conversation. Right. And then Mecca said, you're right about the baby part, Kim. So yes, guys, we have to have those conversations before you even set when I propose.
Yeah.
Because
Before
you know,
you
in the
get
sense you
into
go
a
buy a ring and
relationship.
all them
Because
something
the
there
point
and
of
then.
relationship is to get
Yeah.
married. So
Exactly.
talk about these things in the getting to know you stage.
Yes.
In the early dating stage. And by the way, to a 2-year anniversary, you're not going to say, oh,
Yes.
do you want kids? And then in a 4 years worth of relationship, and I break up because at that point, when you just find out say the person don't want kids.
Mine would
and
be-
no want
Exactly.
my kids
So-
will go to Immaculate.
Jada, you never say
With
you
that-
want kids.
So that's a conversation Jada would have, and if him can work with that, then it's just so, right?
Child is going to
But there was
hear it.
another thing that Jada mentioned, which is number 3. What does religion mean to you? So it might be that just one of you is religious, or perhaps you have different religions. How will this impact your life together? Is one of you expecting a religious wedding ceremony? If you have children, will they be brought up to observe a religion? If so, which one?
Would you go to church together?
Exactly.
Or
You need
apart?
to know that you're on the same page with this, even if your beliefs don't have much of an impact on your day-to-day life at the moment.
Right.
And we've seen this play out not only in movies, but in real life, where I've seen parents, we read Quran, we read this, or we pray how much time a day. But then when you go to church and my God is this and your God is that. And then the question, fine, you believe your own religions and some relationships work like that. But then who decides what you pass on? Because now a child and you both want to have, and you both want to have an influence. Do you then divide them between both religions?
Combine them?
Do you then combine? Do you then, because some say, I'm not going to introduce my child to religion at all. And when they get old enough, they'll pick on their own. You have so many variations to it, and you have to have that discussion.
Yeah.
Right? Too Cute say, I cannot date an atheist. I'm a Christian, which is fair. But you do have other people. I've seen people date and them one a atheist and one a Christian. Don't ask me how it works.
Hey, me not like, we have a laugh the other day when somebody said they were atheist and then something happened and them say thank God, and we look and say
yeah, I believe.
But trust me, in this world it's kind of hard to be an atheist.
As people are now.
It's basically they don't really, I don't think they don't believe, it's just that they don't take the ownership of it. Because at the end of the day, at some point, you're going to say these expressions that we do say, that there's a higher power.
Right.
Yeah.
And right before we go, well, actually, it's about time to go to the break, and we have quite a few. So when we come back from the break, we're going to get through the other points. But these are things to consider, guys. Think about it.
Before.
And as I said, I've never had these discussions before. Not that I was trying to get proposed to, but I was thinking that these are valid conversations I've never even fathomed to have with anybody. So take notes, and we'll be right back.
Do you want to have kids?
No.
How many?
None.